Welcome to Voices in Nursing with Dr. Nozil, where care, policy, and leadership meet to shape the future of healthcare. Today's episode is both humbling and eye-opening. We often talk about patient-centered care. What's that truly look like through the eyes of someone who served our country? Joining us today is Jess Metz.
Yes, ma'am.
And a veteran whose journey through the healthcare system offers powerful insight into resilience, dignity, and the reality many patients face, especially those who have served. As a nurse, I've cared for many patients, but as a leader and advocate, I believe we must listen more closely to voices like Jess. Voices that remind us that behind every chart is a story, a sacrifice, a life that served, that deserved to be honored through excellent care. Jess, thank you for your service and trusting with your story. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, just tell me your journey in
Um,
service.
so I joined the military in June of 2019, and I actually was medically retired December 29th, 2023.
Then what happened? What is your experience?
Oh, with healthcare, so I was diagnosed with 2 stage 4 cancers in February of 2022, Hodgkin's lymphoma and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And then I was diagnosed with paraplegia 3 years ago in 2023.
Wow. How was your experience?
I didn't really have a good experience in the Navy. I didn't really like it. I felt like we needed more representation in healthcare as far as like Black people, stuff like that. And I don't feel like I got the treatment initially that I deserved, which perhaps could have prevented me from being in a wheelchair, honestly.
So you feel like you were treating different?
I felt like the fact that I was a young Black man, I was treated different. I do.
So how long was it takes them the diagnosis? Yes.
So November 2021, like November 15th, is when my back started hurting, and I didn't get diagnosed until February, like right before my birthday, which is the 22nd in 2022. So it was maybe 2 months.
2 months after the diagnosis, or is it?
From initially my back started hurting.
Okay.
To then. But I went to the doctor maybe December.
Okay.
So it was some time before I actually got diagnosed. I was in pain. I was suffering for a couple months.
So how long from the time you started having back pain to the time you were diagnosed?
Oh, that's 3 months.
Oh,
3 months from like November to February. But I didn't go to the doctor, I don't believe, until December.
That would be, you were diagnosed in October?
February.
You were diagnosed in February. And you saw the doctor when?
I went to the doctor on the ship in November, but they didn't let me go to Navy Medical in Balboa like a official doctor until December.
We'll say 3 months.
From when I got back pain until February, yes, 3 months, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What they did for you?
I got an MRI in February, and when I got diagnosed, they said I needed 10 treatments of radiation, and I did like 6 or 7 months of chemotherapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a veteran, did you believe that your treatments was like fully?
No. I don't think I got the treatment that I deserved because from the point of me being in pain and trying to go get help, it took a couple months
Okay.
before I got diagnosed. But before I got diagnosed, I mean, they found a tumor the size of a grapefruit on my spine, so you can imagine the amount of pain I was in. You know, it wasn't just like a normal back pain. Like my back was like burning. Felt like my back was on fire.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
You think since it was in your spine, that was supposed to be taken care of right away?
But they said they have to go through a system of, okay, you're in back pain, and then you go to physical therapy. You can't complete the the task in physical therapy. Then they send you to the doctor. I feel like I should immediately got help because the amount of pain I was in was not normal, and I was trying to communicate that to him. Like they were telling me, "Oh, we just think you got a back injury, you know, from the work and stuff like that." I was like, "Nah." I was adamant about what was going on with me, but I mean, they just were. I don't feel like they were listening, to be honest.
Okay. Was it while you were on the ship or was
Yeah,
it?
I was on the ship. Yeah.
So when do they realize that it is cancer?
In February when they did the MRI and the MRI test came back and it showed the cancer in my spine. That's when they were like, "Yeah, we need to start treating this right away because you could die."
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your impressions with all the services that you were getting?
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of question the competency of the doctor. I feel like I would have got better treatment if I were in a civilian hospital. That's my honest opinion. I feel like I would have got treated better.
Really?
Yes.
So I've never have anybody compare it like that before with the veteran in the civilian hospital.
Yes.
What was the delay that would take on that takes on the VA hospital or the ship that you were in compared to the civilian?
Well, overall, the civilian doctors they just seem to care more. That makes sense. Like overall, they're more concerned about you as a person. Like you could feel that. You know what I mean? That's the best way I could. You know when somebody cares about you. Like it's pretty obvious. Versus when you're trying to communicate something, people don't listen to you. And it's just like, man, like you don't have a voice. But even now, I've gotten better since I've been out of the military. I can tell the treatment versus when I was in is better when I go to civilian doctors. It's just,
So if you're getting mental health therapy?
I did when it first happened because I was in shock. I just couldn't believe it. So I went through like while I was doing chemo and all that stuff until I graduated from the Shepherd Center. I want to say like 2024. So I went through like 2 years
Wow.
of therapy because I mean I couldn't even talk about the situation without crying. I mean,
Yeah, because you're young.
Yeah, I mean, you think your life is over, and then I'm paralyzed from my waist down, so you can't feel anything. It's like, am I gonna have a relationship? You go through all of those are normal questions. I didn't have to worry about that before, so I had to talk to a lot of doctors, therapists, all that stuff to get to the point to where I'm at now.
Wow.
Yeah.
What changes would you like to see on healthcare system for better support of veterans?
Well, we just need more Black people in healthcare overall. That's what I think when it comes to the military, because I feel like culturally we just understand each other better.
Oh, you see it like that in the military?
The military and civilian world, we need more Black people in healthcare spaces. I really believe that because even with the mental health, like I give them credit for helping me, but it's just certain things like family dynamics that you would understand as a Black woman. That would have been like if you were my psychologist versus somebody that's white. You know, we just come from a different heritage. It's not a right or wrong, it's just culture.
Yeah.
You know, so you could speak to certain family dynamics, whether, you know, if it's a disagreement between mom and one of the brothers or something like that, you can understand that a little bit better, given the background, versus somebody else, you know. So I think we need more Black people in healthcare.
Right.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give a nurse caring for veteran today? We have Cameron.
Oh.
And
Man, that's What advice would I give to a nurse that's caring for a veteran?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, here's our camera.
Goodness, it's just a lot of trauma that we go through as veterans. You know what I mean? Just listen to us. That's what I would say. Just really listen to us and don't think we're crazy or we're delusional or anything like that. Just listen to what we have to say. That's what I would say.
Doctors, nurses, healthcare providers, Mr. Mintz is talking to you now. So face the camera and pretending like you were talking to me, and then tell them what exactly how you feel. What would you like them to do to make a difference?
I would like more people to care about Black men, young Black men, and to humanize us, to see us for who we are. And when we're in pain, to listen and not to just blow us off.
Okay. What else? What else? What else? What else? Where?
Treat us like family. Treat me like if I was your son or your nephew or your cousin, and like put yourself in that situation.
Jess, your story is powerful. Reminded that healthcare is just clinical. It is deeply human. To care for a veteran is to care for someone who has already given so much. As a nurse and healthcare leaders, we must rise to that responsibility with compassion, cultural awareness, and unwavering respect. Thank you for your service, your strength, and your voice. And to our listener, let's continue to learn and advocate for those who have served. And thank you. Please share this episode, like it. Until next time.
Do you have a voice, a story, or expertise that healthcare needs to hear? Voices in Nursing with Dr. Nozil is a professional podcast elevating conversations at the intersection of care, leadership, and health policy. We're inviting chief nursing officers and nurse executives, bedside nurses, and advanced practice registered nurses, nurse educators, and academic leaders, hospital and healthcare system leaders, patients and patient advocates, family members and caregivers, policy leaders, elected officials, and community advocates. If you have expertise, lived experience, or insight that can educate and inspire, there is a seat for you at this table. To become a guest, email Dr. Nozil at why not? We look forward to amplifying your voice.